My name's Elizabeth Blumenstock, and I play the Baroque violin. I've been with ABS since 1989, which was the first year we began performing. The academy part is the instructing part, where you build up people's understanding, work on their technique, work on those kinds of things. And you're actually working on a lot of the repertoire that gets performed in the festival. Not every day, not exclusively by any stretch, but a good proportion of what we work on at the academy is to be performed. So it would be kind of unthinkable to work on all that music and then not give people a chance to actually perform it. Depends on whether they're performing in the master class. It's a lot more stressful for them if they're performing, at least for some of them. If they're just listening, it's like being in any classroom. You take in what's said, you listen to the performance of what is being worked on, and you think about it. Maybe you know the piece, maybe you don't. But I think for the most part, what most participants come for is that chance to find a new avenue for themselves. A new avenue in a specific piece, a new avenue technically, a new avenue in their understanding of Baroque style in general, and that's what we certainly strive to provide. The big works are always fascinating. The big works are, this year, of course, the Bach Mass in B minor, which I always look forward to because it's simply a pinnacle piece of the repertoire. But we're also doing Handel's L'Allegro, for short. I guess the full title is L'Allegro il Moderato ed il Pensieroso, which I've performed before, and I am just extremely jazzed about getting to do it again. It's Handel at his very, very best. Colorful, evocative, tender, harsh, brilliant, all of the things all the operatic things that Handel can bring to bear on a more or less philosophical text. Vivaldi's Concerto in B minor for 4 violins is another slightly more modestly scaled pinnacle piece of the Baroque era, I would say. It's a fun sort of concerto. It's neither strictly, like a solo concerto, nor is it a concerto grosso exactly. It is unusual in the concerto repertoire in that it features 4 violins who take turns creating their own orchestral support for each other when there are solos. A very minimal orchestra. Usually if you have a concerto, you have a soloist and an orchestra, or a group of soloists and an orchestra. There's no orchestra here. The 4 soloists, the 2 violists, and the continuo team are the orchestra, as well as half of them being the soloists as well. That's merely a formal concern, but it's fun. It makes for a very intimate sort of concerto. The piece itself features Vivaldi's kind of trademark brilliant rhythmic drive, his figurative creativity, and his harmonic, not to say outlandishness, at least his great coloristic sense harmonically. ABS actually got started in the wake of a concert that I did with a chamber group that no longer exists, that was called Concerto Amabile, and Jeffrey Thomas came and sang with us at that concert. He sang a tenor cantata, solo cantata, and there was a chorale at the end. And the chorale, we didn't have a chorus. So we decided to hand out the music to the whole audience and teach it to them after the intermission, and invite them to sing the chorale with us at the end. We gave them the words in German, we gave them in English. We said it didn't matter what they sang as long as they wanted to they could hum. They could say la la la, but they had to sing along. So it was really fun. We loved doing it. And to inspire them before they had to do this, I got up and I told a limerick. And the limerick goes like this. There once were 3 birds in a wood who sang hymns whenever they could. What the words were about, they could never make out. but they knew it was doing them good. And I could take the word Bach and substitute that for hymns. I have made out what some of the words are about, and yet the fact that it does me good, and I know it's doing me good, transcends the text. It's the whole package of how Bach evokes a feeling, the feeling of being done good. That's incredibly inspirational, incredibly important, and something I get from very few other sources. Oh, that's just a mean question. How can anybody possibly pick? I mean, there's everything on the scale from the B minor Mass down to the solo violin repertoire. I mean, my favorite to perform, that's impossible. That's completely impossible.